Hello everybody, welcome to another conference tonight. And tonight we have a very special guest from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and Brenda. And she's a writing and literature teacher. And it's going to be a very interesting teacher's talk session tonight. And here she comes. So we can invite her here to join. Yes. When she comes, we can start. Yes, hello,
Hi there.
Brenda. It's good to
How
see
are
you.
you?
Good, it's great, Brenda. Welcome to Teacher Talk Session.
Thanks. I'm glad. I'm so glad
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
here.
me too, me too. It's great to see you here. And so at this time, actually, it's really late here, but over there, I think it's
I know.
evening time. Yeah, but here it's a little late. It's the midnight now, but it's okay. And so, how is it going?
Fine. Here's not that late. It's
Not
just
late,
6 p.m.
and everything is great there, I think. I understand. Okay, so if you want, we can start because I don't want to take your time. Yeah. Okay, Brenda. So, Brenda,
Let's
can you tell us
start.
about, yeah, can you tell us about yourself, please?
Yes. Well, my name is Brenda. I live in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I teach writing and literature. Um, I'm actually an English teacher, but now, at least this year, I'm focusing on those two subjects only.
Mm-hmm.
What else can I tell you? Well, I work only
Great.
in secondary school, so I have just the big ones this year, and I think that's all. Well, of course, my Instagram account is Brenda Teaches, so that's
Uh-huh.
me.
Yeah, we know that you are doing really great things over there in your account. Yeah, I'm following that Brenda teaches, and you are doing great things, Brenda. Keep up good works. Okay.
I am now trying these new reels that appear, and I think they are great because they are very short, and I think that they are like to the point, right? Very
Yeah,
concrete and useful tips that you cannot.
yeah, definitely.
Um, it's like
You're right.
everything there summarized, and it's great. So
Great.
I'm
Yeah,
trying that.
yeah. I'm following too, and it's really great. So, Brenda, my next question is about your teaching experiences. Can you tell us about your teaching experience?
Yes. Well, I've been teaching for 9 years already, almost 10. But from the very beginning, I started teaching in primary school and
Mm-hmm.
with very, very little kids. I think that my first course was second grade, that is here in Argentina around 7 and 8 years old. And then year after year, I moved like little, I don't know if every single year, but more or less, I think that year after year was second grade, then third, then fifth, then and more or less like that, till I arrived to secondary and I stay. So I've been
Great.
teaching in secondary for 7 years more or less. Anyway, of course, there was a time that I was teaching in both
Mm-hmm.
primary and secondary.
Secondary.
Because it was really nice, and
Mm-hmm.
it was different. Primary, the little kids are excited about everything, and
Yeah.
their energy is different, right?
Yes.
And then
Of
in
course.
second, no, it's different. And then in secondary school, um, I think that we go deep into the language, right? And we can
Yeah.
explore
Mm-hmm.
things a bit deeper and discuss other topics. And in my case, that I
Mm-hmm.
specialized in literature, then it
Yes.
was okay. This is great. This is my thing, and I can share it with people that already are teenagers and that are already have their own thoughts and their own critical thinking, right? So
Yeah,
it opens other options, other doors. So I
definitely.
decided to
I
stay
agree.
here in secondary,
In
and
secondary. Hmm.
yes. So
And
now,
I think, mhm. Yeah, I think it's much easier to discuss the literature with the secondary school students than the primary kids.
yes, of course. No, and apart from that, I think that we can really analyze it in a very deeper way, and it's really interesting what they come up with and the ideas
Hmm.
and the projects that we can create with them.
Well,
Although maybe, of course, I remember working with short stories or even Roald Dahl's novels, right? That were really
hmm.
fun for children and we could enjoy them. But when they are older, literature comes in a different way. It's like
Hmm.
um, we are analyzing beyond the story itself or the content itself, right? We explore things really,
Great.
really deeper, and we can make
Hmm.
connections with our world and with what is going on around,
Hmm.
not only in our country, but anything, right? We can, I think that I love literature because of that, because of all the things that we can
Great.
come up with, right?
Yeah, of course, of course. It's much easier with them. Oh, great. So you are a secondary grade lover, I think, huh? Secondary school lover, I think.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
wonderful. Yeah. And now, my next question is, Brenda, it's about like your current uh, job. So can you tell us about your current school or institution and what kind of things you are there?
Yes, sure. Well, I am actually working at two secondary schools. Um, they are very close to another, and
Mm-hmm.
they're alike in the sense that they are both private and bilingual schools here in Argentina. So the level of English, more or less, it's the same, and it's pretty good because
Great.
um, they start learning English since they're really, 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 really kid. So and very
Wow.
little. So now when I get them in secondary, um, their level of English is quite good. So classes are great because then
Yeah,
we
of
can
course. It's
manage
wonderful
to.
to have a lesson with them.
Of course, yes, yes. So, well, in those two schools, I am actually teaching writing in just one course in one of them, and then the rest of the
Mm-hmm.
courses that I have, I am teaching literature.
Mm-hmm.
And as I told you before, they are kids from 13, 14 years old till 17, 18 years old, more or less.
Wonderful. Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so a bit of everything, but just with the big ones, right? Um, and well, writing actually, I have been teaching writing for many years. This year, because of timetable or things of institutional things, I'm just having one course of writing
Mm-hmm.
and focusing a bit more in literature. However, we know that in literature we tend to write a lot as well, analyzing themes, character settings, so they are pretty much connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
Writing and
To
literature.
each other.
Yes, of course. And at least with me they write also a lot of essays, so although they are literary essays, it's
Mm-hmm.
the basics of writing are also there involved.
Yeah, of course. Of course. It's in the literature. So,
Yeah, which is something that
so
they don't like, of course, students, I mean.
yeah, definitely. I can agree. I can say that probably they don't like it. Okay. So, is that all? Can I move to other
Yes, of course.
question? Oh, great. So, as you know that the whole world, I mean, actually almost the whole world, they move from face-to-face education to distant education. So what is your opinion about distant education?
Okay, well, Distance learning here in Argentina, it was tough, at least. But I
Yeah,
think
like
that
everywhere, right?
thanks to, yes, well, but thanks to social media and everything, we realized that it was tough for everybody.
Yeah, you're right.
It was really hard all around the world, you know. Um, I think that it's still something, it is still something that is hard for times. I don't know, maybe some of my teenagers, students tell me, you know what, Brenda, I'm so tired of screens, right?
Yeah.
So I think that now that we are a bit better in the sense that we are used to it and the system, and at least here we have never gone back to school. We didn't have that chance. We since March that we are with this distance learning method. uh, and although I know that at the very beginning was much worse because we all had to get used to this new
Of course, that was
system,
something new for us.
of course, it was for everybody new, and it was all of a sudden. So that was quite shocking, I think, that for all teachers, and quite stressing.
Yeah,
Um,
that
but also for students, we cannot forget that they were there also, like, what is going on?
what's going on? We have
um,
no idea what to do.
and we didn't know if we were going to go back to classes or to ordinary classes in a month, in 2 months, or when, right? And then month after month comes, and we were still there. We are
Yeah.
still there. And I think that now it is quite organized, and we are all more adapted, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I think, or at least my personal view, is that it's really, really, I wouldn't say stressful, but I think that it's, I mean, I feel that my students are much more tired or exhausted than other years, which we are ending our year because we start classes in March and we generally finish them by November.
Uh-huh.
So we are by the end of it, and in general we can feel this. I don't
Feeling.
want
Mm-hmm.
to come to class any longer. But I think that nowadays, yes, because it's natural, right? We are also tired by
Yeah,
the end of the year,
of course.
always.
Yeah, of course.
But I think that nowadays is a bit worse. I think that they are really, really tired. It's like, don't come on, and it's difficult for them to turn on the cameras and to turn on the microphones and to talk and participate. It's like, you know what? That's it. That's it. Um, so and that's my feeling, right? I don't know if it is. I mean, what I think about distance learning is that we could manage.
Yeah,
um,
probably.
we needed to learn a lot. We needed to learn a lot, but we could
Mm-hmm.
manage. So that is important, and also we could manage students to adapt to that system.
To this system. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think that we could do it, and social media, the internet, and and all the
Mm-hmm.
courses and webinars, because webinar is also
Yeah, of
something
course.
very new that come up, really, really helps us all, right?
Yes,
We
you're right.
we don't
Mm,
stop learning new methods and systems and ideas, so that is great.
great. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Brenda, for your ideas. Okay, so Brenda, what kind of activities can you suggest to the teachers to use in this
Okay.
period?
Okay, I will share some of the things that I have already tried and that they worked
Uh-huh.
for me at least. Um,
Of course, you can. Mm-hmm.
um, I added something that I haven't. done it from the very beginning with this virtual learning, but I added something in the past 2 months that has to do with agenda or planner. And I think that it was really useful. It is really useful. I always present like a sort of a mini agenda for them to know what is it that we will do that day, that week, and even what we will do and what we will be working on the following weeks, right? So as to get them organized, and it's important for them to know what is coming next, right? And how is it that we will do things. So that is something that I presented maybe orally before, and then maybe not all our students are listening to that in that precise moment. And now I am taking my time to prepare some kind of, I generally use Google Slides, and I prepare a special slide for an agenda, which should be very concrete and short and precise, but we will do this, this and that, and next week we will work on this, this and that. So they already know, and we can all be organized in the terms of topics and doubts or questions. Especially, I'm a literature teacher, so I need that because of the reading, right, and the follow-up of those things, right? And it's easier for me to know that, okay, we are here. Now I am actually working on a play, so we are in this act, in this scene, right? So
Yes.
I think that in literature is very necessary, but I think that it applies, and it's necessary for any type of subject. We need to tell them what we will do and what is coming next, so that they can also get organized, right? Especially now in with this distance learning. Then another thing that I generally do is starting a class with a random question. I love it, and students really, really enjoy it. And random questions are just questions about anything, about life, about favorite things, about favorite hobbies or favorite movies. I will tell you which random questions I've used this week. In fact, today, a couple of hours ago, I asked students if they preferred watching movies or series. And yeah, and many of them, I thought that most of them were going to say series because it's so common nowadays and so popular. But some of them
Brenda,
said,
just a moment.
Yeah.
I think your something about your connection. Is it right now? Because you are moving very slowly. But now it's okay. Now it's okay.
I can see.
Now it's okay.
Okay.
Now great.
Am I better now? Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Maybe my Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Great now. Perfect. Yeah, great. Wonderful.
Great. So I was sharing about
the random
question between movies or series, and many of them said, you know what, I prefer movies because of this and this and that.
Great.
So you take 5 minutes, 10 tops, to talk about something that maybe it's more fun, it's more entertaining, it's a bit not so structured, right? And if not, we start every single class in the same way. Well, okay, we will see these, let's open the book, right? So as to avoid that, it's a good idea. I have plenty of questions of those types, and they are really, really useful. And something else that I want to share with you is that I work a lot in groups. Although many teachers still say, well, but it's it's a mess and it's really disorganized. And it's very difficult because when we were in the classroom, it was very easy to just, well, let's join together, and we
Yeah,
teachers tend to walk around the class
definitely.
and see how they were working. It was so fast, so
Yes.
easy, right? And
Yeah,
now they
yes.
tell me, no, and now they tell me, no, Brenda, I'm not going to uh, generate different links for different groups, and then I will open.
Oh,
Well,
lots of.
there are many ways of doing this in an easy way, and I insist on trying because I do it, and it's so dynamic. It is different, and they really, really learn a lot
Hmm.
in groups, and they discuss
Great.
and they debate. They,
Yes,
I mean, group work is necessary.
of course,
So
definitely.
we need to stop being afraid of making a mistake, or making our classes a bit more disorganized because of this virtual learning. But
Uh-huh.
trying this out, I generally use the extension of Google Chrome, the one that is
Hmm.
called Breaking Out Rooms, which is quite easy to use.
Wonderful.
And
Hmm.
um, it just gives the possibility of you having the group divided into 4 or 5, up to, I think that it's up to 6 groups at the same time, and
Yeah,
you are going to be in their groups as well, um,
wonderful.
listening to them, uh, looking at whatever activity you can prepare. But um, if they are working the activity in groups, is different, and they help each other a lot, and they learn. I think that group works are incredibly, incredibly necessary. I even use them for writing. Many teachers do
Hmm.
not are not used to join groups for writing tasks, but I think it's great. They help each other with
Definitely.
vocabulary, with the organization, with
Hmm.
ideas, and especially when you are teaching some types of writing that are a bit more difficult.
Uh-huh.
Um, Maybe literary essays in my case. Before that, we start with literary paragraphs and
Hmm.
analyzing quotes and so on, which is not easy at the very beginning. I tend to form groups and
Yes.
tell them to work in those things in
Hmm.
groups. So some teachers tell me, but they are writing in groups. How is that possible? It's possible. And it is
It is
great.
possible. Of course.
And it is great. It's great the way they help each other. And maybe if one of them is not so convinced or is not so sure about how to write something, um,
Hmm.
then they are supporting each other with
Support.
ideas, with
Uh-huh. Exactly.
vocabulary. So I think
Exactly.
that that is one of the things that I use the most, and um, I insist on the importance and
Definitely.
trying. Yes, because I
Hmm.
know that through this distance learning is much, much more difficult. Um,
Of course. It's not like a face to
but
face.
we just need to try, right? We just
Yeah,
need to
we
try.
have to, exactly. We have to try new things and we have to support them. And as you mentioned that the breakout rooms are really, really, really useful for the students to communicate each other, to collaborate, to
Of course,
communicate each other and to collaborate during the activities. So they really, give chance to, you know, communicate each other and share their ideas and use different techniques and more and more. So we have to try that breakout rooms if we have a chance to use them, as you
of
mentioned.
course.
Wonderful.
In my case, because I don't, we don't use Zoom for classes, we use Google
Now,
Meet.
Zoom is my favorite.
So for Google Meet, we need this extension of breakout rooms
Uh-huh.
or generating links for the different meets. But there is
Hmm.
always an option. So we just need to dig in and try out something that maybe we haven't
Exactly.
tried before,
Uh,
but that we are telling you that it's worth it.
yeah, it's great. So thank you. Thanks, Brenda. So, and you mentioned about writing lots of times. So, you are a writing teacher. So I have a very special question about writing. So, you know that, I mean, most of the students and maybe uh, most of teachers think that the writing is very difficult skills. It's very difficult. So, why do you think that writing is difficult, and what can you suggest them for writing?
Okay, yes, I definitely agree that students believe it's difficult, and I I must also say that they generally hate writing. It's not in the top five of any student. um, and for teachers also, I do agree that it's very difficult for them maybe um, to like the subject as well, but mainly because of the correction part, I think. Um, Writing means corrections and corrections and corrections.
Correction.
So
Hmm.
that is, of course, hard for all of us. But what I generally suggest is whenever we need to start with any teaching any type of writing, we need to engage our students in some way, right? And to
Hmm.
uh, maybe call their attention in some way. What I generally do is when I begin the lesson of writing, of a type of writing, article, email, diary entry, whatever it is, even essays, I generally present it with a sample. I generally bring a sample beforehand, and we
Hmm.
actually take a lot of time analyzing it and working with it, right? Before writing anything, just with the sample. And what I always suggest is that that sample should be something interesting for them. We should give them samples of writings that talk about things that might interest our students, so that in a
Yes.
way we engage them through that side. Writing they hate, but at least let's work on a text or about someone or something that they might care, right? Or that they are
Yes.
maybe interesting to know about. So that is important, because if you start in that way, then you are starting like in a good way with them, and then they are
Hmm.
not just, at least from the very beginning, hating that type of writing. We generally use samples from old textbooks, or even whatever we can find that it might be useful for us teachers. Oh, this text is full of vocabulary and great structures and important things that we want to mention or talk about. Oh, this is
Hmm.
great. And we just pick it and show it to them. But then we don't stop and think if that sample
Yes.
is actually something interesting for them. So to begin with a writing lesson, we need to try to grab topics that our students might be interested about, right? Um, I sometimes pick up, I don't know, diary entries on famous people, um, or articles about popular Instagrammers or YouTubers, or something that is uh, about nowadays, something that it has to do with them and their lives, right?
Yeah.
um
Probably you can choose
Trending.
COVID. Yeah, COVID-19. Some articles about COVID-19. Maybe you can choose. It's very
Well,
popular
of
these days.
course, but we need um to make sure not just to be so repetitive, because if we are, after so many months, talking about the same, because I have already worked with COVID-19, and I have already worked with coronavirus, and it was great at the beginning, but now it's like students will say, no, not again.
Not
right?
again, Corona.
So we need to be like as they are, like uh, thinking about what is going on now, what are the things that they like, even asking them, right? Getting to know
Yeah,
them. And that will help a lot. I promise that I will help a lot in the way they are engaged to that type of writing. And
mm-hmm.
then of course, the tasks that we ask them to write about should also be something that at least giving them options. Let's stop being the teacher who
Exactly.
says, write this. And
You're right.
students are
Definitely.
like, I don't want to write this. Yes. Instead, if we give them at least three options, then they are having a chance, right, of
I agree.
picking up something. And if you have the possibility of maybe because you have you are discussing a very general topic, and then I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, maybe you want them to write an article on something, and you don't need to ask them specifically any concrete topic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can try just to let the students pick up the whatever topic that they are interested in to write an article, because as you have already given them vocabulary,
Mm-hmm.
organization, you have already analyzed several pieces, they have already their examples over there. Well,
You're
you
right.
know what,
Mm-hmm.
now just do some research of something that you like and write about it.
Right
and
about it. Great.
and
Mm-hmm.
this is so much a difference if we tell them what to write, because now they say, oh, okay, Brenda is telling me to just to pick up a topic, to write about whatever I want.
I want.
So
Mm-hmm.
that is different. And they will write with another mood, with another energy, because they are picking up
Exactly.
the right.
Wonderful. Yes, you're right. I
We tend to
totally
do
agree.
these things when they are younger, when they are
Mm-hmm.
little. I remember when I was working at primary school that we tend to tell students, um, write about your favorite toy, or or why don't you describe your family or your
Mm-hmm.
hobbies, or, and it was everything that we asked them was always something that they were related to, right? Um, Something that they really knew about. So that
Yes.
was
Mm-hmm.
great. That was great. And then when they come older, we want them to use more vocabulary and to
Mm-hmm.
write longer pieces.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
But we have the problem that we tend to tell them what to write because I don't know why. Maybe it's I don't know why is it, but I have done that for years
But
after I realized that that was not the way.
yeah, but
um, Maybe following books, right, or textbooks that generally give us the tasks over there. I don't know, but we must try to change those things and let them decide,
let
because
them
that's
decide.
a very good way of writing in
The
I
creative,
always say with a
creative
better
way.
energy, but it's the productions are actually much better when they write about what they want to write. It's
Yeah,
like
of
that.
course. If they write, even as a teachers, or when we think about other people, if we ask them to write something that you like, they can write maybe 2 or 3 pages, something maybe 5 pages. They can write it. But if I say, okay, now you are going to write about what is the advantages of uh, what can I say, using using mobile phones in English classes. So they can write something, but maybe he or she is not interested about it. So it just can write a half page or one
Yes,
page,
of course.
something like
And
that.
and in those moments, students will hate you in every single word because they
Uh,
start counting and they start caring about things that we do not need them to care about. They
mhm.
need to produce things that they enjoy and that they like, because they will probably,
Exactly.
and I'm sure about it, that they will do it in a better way.
Yes. Great. Thank you, Brenda. I think very useful information you shared with us. They're really great. Thank you for your ideas and your suggestions about writing. It's wonderful.
Of course.
So we are almost coming the end of our session. So I have only two questions left, and one of it is, what is your motto?
Okay, well, my motto appears on my Instagram, so you
Yes.
probably know it.
Yeah,
And
I know
it's
it,
one from Benjamin Franklin,
Franklin.
that it's tell me and I know, teach me and I learn, involve me and I remember. And I think that it's
Wonderful.
and I think that it's great, especially the way it ends, because I'm every single class. I was going to say every single year, but now I'm just summarizing it to every single class. I think of ways of involving and engaging
Mm-hmm.
our students, because they need that to learn, to know, no, to I mean,
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
um, the tell me and I know and teach me and I learn, of course, we all know that, but then we need to think about how can we involve them so that then they remember at, at least something from your class, and they will take it to their
Exactly.
lives forever. That's the point, right?
Wonderful.
Um,
Thank you. I really like that motto. I really like that quote, I think, from Benjamin Franklin. It's very meaningful. And
it is.
yes, the really good meaning, and about teaching and learning, really. It's a very important one. Okay, so the last one is, before we finish our live session, Brenda, what would you like to say to the all teachers around the world, and all the educators and all the people or teachers who listen to us now? So what would you like to say, your last words?
Okay, my last words. um, First of all, I think that we, especially in distance learning, and with all these situations and this extraordinary year that we have all lived, um, not only teachers, students, right? And
Exactly.
not to
Yes.
forget that it was, and it is, at least here it is still, well, and all around the world. I mean, it's a different year. It's a very, I think that we cannot forget that we are teaching not only our contents, but also we are teaching children how to live their lives better, how to be better people. So
Mm-hmm.
especially this year, we need to, I truly think that we need to um, give them their space to talk, to express, to, we need to know how they are doing, how they are feeling. um, I think it's important for us to bear in mind that this is not just one more year, that we need to follow our plans and follow our syllabi as it is. And we cannot forget that what we are doing is helping them also to go through this situation. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that it's important to bear that in mind, to try to involve them, as Benjamin Franklin said, but also
Exactly.
yes, and creating like a nice environment of our classes, although they are online
Mm-hmm.
or not, or half and half, as in some countries are doing. Um, Creating nice environments full of confidence and making the students feel that they are cared and that we care about them, right? Not just
Mm-hmm.
because of what we are teaching and if they are learning our contents, but much more than that. I
Exactly.
think that this
Yes.
year was an opportunity for all of us to see classrooms in different ways and to change our perspectives in many, many things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now we are caring about what is going on in each of their homes. I mean,
Yeah.
in each of our
Exactly.
students' homes. Why
Mm-hmm.
didn't we care that about before? Maybe we didn't stop to think about that, but actually each of our students um, always had a home and always had their difficulties and their problems or their issues. Mm.
Exactly.
So I think that now that we learn that our students are having their
Yeah,
own
we
things
learn
and situations at home, we need to bear this in mind for the future as well, right? And
yes, you are right.
just to round up a little bit, I think that I always try to transform these classes that in my case are still online lessons into um, meetings in such a way that are called meeting of people, a
Mm-hmm.
reunion of people talking in English and learning how to communicate and learning a little bit of literature and writing as well, but also um, growing together, right? Sharing things,
Exactly.
sharing
Mm-hmm.
thoughts, sharing feelings. These these things should be part of our classrooms. That's why I'm trying to transform the concept of classroom, of
Mm-hmm.
teaching and learning concepts or ideas
I
or even
see.
the subject itself by turning into something as a space, right? As an encounter or as a meeting of a space um, of safety, of confidence, um,
Mm-hmm.
and learning much more than our subjects, right?
Awesome.
Much
Yes.
more than writing and literature and language. Because
Yeah.
anyway,
We
sharing
should
it
teach.
in this way and sharing feelings and thoughts, we are learning a lot, right? Um,
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Especially if we are talking in English because it's our foreign language for us. So,
Yeah,
um,
exactly. You are right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Brenda, really,
a
for your
pleasure.
great
Thanks to
ideas.
you.
Before before I finish this section, I would like to thank you that you are here with us and you shared your ideas, your experiences, and your suggestions about really nice topic. And they were really lovely, and I'm sure that I had a really great time with you now, and I'm sure that the teachers or educators or the people who listen to us, they had also nice time and very educational and very, nice ideas and suggestions we had from you. And that's all. And I hope
Thanks a
to
lot.
see you or have another conversation in the future in other, the sections or maybe another
Of
different
course, I would be glad.
part first. And also, thank you very much. I would like to say thank you to the one who joined us here at this time, be with us, or maybe I don't know, maybe there is really late over there, or maybe in the daytime, or in the afternoon, or in the evening, like there. And also, it's really almost 1 p.m. here in Turkey, but it's okay. Yeah, it's a great time. Thank you very much, Brenda,
Thanks to
and I
you.
hope to see you
Thanks to
again
you.
and enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you very much, other people. Good evening, good night, good morning, or good afternoon. Take care and bye.
Thanks
Sharing
a
with care.
lot. Bye bye.